Good afternoon and welcome to Brewing, right here on Ustream.tv. I'm your host, my name's Scott Leffler. This show is live on Ustream.tv every day, weekdays, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Could have listeners, viewers, I'm used to having listeners, sorry about that, could have viewers all over the world. So, just because it's 12:30 where I am does not necessarily mean that it's 12:30 where you are. And you know what? It's 5 o'clock somewhere. But today I'm drinking coffee. Brewing with Scott Leffler. I'm your host, my name's Scott Leffler. A few things to talk about today, and they're all kind of interrelated. It's kind of weird how the world works. Would actually make kind of a good column. You know what? I'm chewing gum. Gum. Honey, this is because I'm not smoking. Love you. And now I just set gum on my table. And it's nasty! So, we have a bunch of things. This will kind of make a good column for me because I tend to, if you ever read my columns, which appear online as well as in the newspapers here locally, the Lockport Journal and the Medina Journal Register, the Tonawanda News, and occasionally the Niagara Gazette. Apparently I'm talking very fast today because sorry. So, my columns tend to be cyclical. They go in a cycle. I start with a thought and then I meander and ramble and whatever, and then I usually end up back on the same thought. Today's show kind of does the same thing because it all sort of interrelates. Different topics, but it all interrelates. And actually, much of it relates to things that we were talking about yesterday. Today, I want to talk about replacement refs. I want to talk about Obama and whether or not he's pre-celebrating his election victory. And I want to talk about the Romney campaign, and Mitt Romney specifically saying that teachers' unions should not be allowed to donate to political campaigns. But we'll start with the replacement refs because this Monday night football game the other night, if you didn't see it, I hope you saw the replays. We talked about it briefly yesterday. It was an abomination. Long story short, if you missed the show yesterday and you have no idea what I'm talking about, very end of the game, last play of the game, quarterback throws a bomb into the end zone, guy goes up, grabs it, another guy gets an arm in there, everybody comes down. The defensive guy, the Packer player, intercepted the ball. But the offensive guy had an arm in there, and so they said that it was joint possession, although it clearly wasn't. If you're familiar with football, if you know what joint possession is, this is not joint possession. So they declared it a touchdown. Basically, the Packers got screwed, and so people are upset about it. Yesterday morning, the NFL came out and said, you know what, we've reviewed the tapes and we completely agree with the officials on field. They have to say that. I mean, they really kind of have to. Otherwise, they look completely stupid for a variety of reasons. One, because you don't want there to have been mistakes. Two, the fact that there are replacement refs making these calls, the NFL has to stand behind those replacement refs as if they were the real refs because, well, otherwise they're admitting that they're wrong. And they can't do that. Now, I mentioned yesterday, how long would it be until some congressman said he wants an investigation and wants all this stuff? Well, we have our answer. Not a congressman, but a New Jersey public official has made a move, has proposed legislation that would ban replacement referees from refereeing football games in the state of New Jersey. Now, if you think to yourself, but New Jersey doesn't have an NFL team. This is for you, D'Onofrio, because you're always bitching about this. New Jersey doesn't have a football team, right? There's no New Jersey anything. There's the New Jersey Devils. That's hockey. That's it. There's the New York Jets. There's the New York Giants. But those are New York teams, right? Well, no, because they actually play in New Jersey. Again, shout out to John D'Onofrio, friend of mine, who, oh my God, last night, if we're Facebook friends, and probably not, because I'm only Facebook friends with people that I really know, but I posted something last night about, if I got paid at work, I'm an editor for the local newspaper, if I got paid at work based on how many times the sports editor, my friend John, swore, I would be incredibly wealthy. I would be much more wealthy than I am right now, and I would be in Vegas playing at casinos or something. I mean, it's just Crazy. But one of his things is that, the Buffalo Bills are the only New York football team because the other New York football teams actually play in New Jersey. So this guy says, no replacement refs in New Jersey. Is the legislation going to go anywhere? Probably not. But it's still interesting to see. Just because this is what politicians do. They want to get involved in everything. Like, it's the National Frickin' Football League. Why should politicians get involved? Because they can, but they shouldn't. And this is the problem that I have with politicians, is they want to get involved and help. I don't want your help. Leave me the hell alone. The world would be much better without you. But this New Jersey official, whose name I didn't write down because it doesn't matter. He's some guy from New Jersey. Anyone watching in New Jersey, I love you. And New Jersey is a great place. No, it's not. It's horrible. It's a cesspool. Yeah, but New Jersey people. Woo! Yeah, Garden State. Anyway, so this guy's not the only one, though. Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker tweeted yesterday morning, I should say, his support for the real refs. And his tweet said, after catching a few hours of sleep, the Packers game is still just as painful. Return the real refs. Now, this is somewhat ironic because the real refs are a union. They're unionized. And there's some thought that the real reason that the NFL isn't settling with them is because the NFL wants to break the referees union. I don't know whether I believe that or not. I just think the NFL is being cheap because a bunch of rich, cheap, bastard assholes. Sorry, sometimes the show is not safe for work. I do occasionally swear. I will say damn and hell and shit and ass. Damn and hell, shit and ass. Damn and hell and shit. I think that's all I say, though. That F word, I'm going to try not to say that one. So as long as your kids can hear those words, then you can watch this at home with your kids. Although I occasionally talk about strippers and stuff, so not that I go to strippers. Anyway, so Scott Walker, governor of Wisconsin, says, return the refs, the union refs. Now, Scott Walker is thought by some to be the most anti-union executive in the entire nation. And here he is saying, you know what, we need those union refs back. So it's kind of fun to watch. It's kind of interesting. Football brings people together, ladies and gentlemen, because Barack Obama, the president of our fine nation, and Paul Ryan, who's running to be vice president of our fine nation, although Mitt Romney did introduce him as the next president of the United States, Paul Ryan, they both agree that the NFL needs to get its act together and get these union refs back. Not so much that they need the union refs back, but they need the refs back. By the way, this union theme will play later. So Barack Obama tweeted yesterday, NFL fans on both sides of aisle hope the refs lockout is settled soon, -BO. Paul Ryan, meanwhile, in a campaign stop yesterday in Ohio said, give me a break. It's time to get the real refs. And then he went on to say, and you know what? It reminds me of President Obama and the economy. If you can't get it right, it's time to get out. Of course, everything's political. There's always a political angle to it. But this ref thing, and I knew this would, when I saw this play Monday night, I said, this is going to be the topic all week long. Not here. I don't plan on talking about it all week long, although this is the second time this week that I have discussed it. 2 days in a row, this replacement ref thing. And really, the NFL kind of, in my opinion, is really screwing themselves. And I don't know what it is that the replacement refs, or that the real refs are asking for, but the NFL needs to just give it to them. I don't know. Speaking of the NFL, and this is, I mentioned earlier how today's show is going to go in like a bit of a circle. Making an NFL reference, Republicans are saying that Obama is spiking the ball too early. In fact, one of them said that he's spiking the ball in the 30-yard line. They're saying that basically he's celebrating victory in November before we even get to November. Hell, we're not even to October yet, so how could he be celebrating victory in November? Now, I don't know that I've seen that. I don't know that I've seen the Obama campaign, or Democrats for that matter, declare victory and state that their guy is definitely going to win in November. I think they're feeling good because the polling numbers say that they should feel good. Up 8 points in Ohio, up 4 points in Florida, up 4 or 5 points in Virginia. These are swing states that are necessary for the election. So I think that there's reason for Team Obama to feel good, but I haven't seen them celebrating per se, which is what the spiking the ball reference would allude to, that they're celebrating this victory. Now, Republicans, of course, are saying, yes, we've seen those other polls that have him up by 8 and have him up by 4 and have him up nationally by 7 and etc. And we've talked about polling numbers here. I like polling numbers. I'm a wonk. So those things interest me. But the Republicans, of course, are saying, well, we've got internal polling that showed... who am I? I'm Jimmy Stewart. Oh, Merry Christmas! Lockport! The Republicans say, we've got internal polling that shows this is a much closer race. It works much better without the voice, doesn't it? But I like the voice. I may need help, ladies and gentlemen. I may just need help. So Republicans say that their internal polling showed the race is closer. Now, if I recall correctly, the past few election cycles, John McCain had polling that showed that the race was closer. John Kerry had polling that showed that the race was closer. I don't trust internal polling ever because they tend to slant the questions in their own favor. So their internal polling is almost always going to show things in your favor. It's like this. It's like you get into an argument with a friend of yours or a colleague or your spouse or whatever, and you go to your friends and you go, oh my God, can you believe what a jerk Jeff is? He did this and he said this, and all your friends are going, oh yeah, you're totally right, Scott. You have every right to be upset. Meanwhile, Jeff is going to go to his friends and they're going to be like, oh my God, did you hear what Scott did? And they're going to be like, Jeff, you are so right. Scott is such a jerk. No one likes him here. Internal polling is always going to tell you what you want to hear to a greater degree than external real polling. Just like in the NFL, they want the real refs back. They also need real polling. So the internal polling number shows us closer. It's a bunch of BS. Digital director for the Romney campaign, a guy by the name of Zach Moffitt, called Obama's greater number of followers on social media vanity metrics. That's an interesting little phrase there. I like it. And he said that it doesn't really matter how many Twitter followers Barack Obama has or how many Facebook or MySpace friends he has. MySpace is still a thing. Did you know that? I didn't. I thought it was gone, like pterodactyls and stuff. But no, MySpace still exists, and people have MySpace accounts. I used to have one way back in the days, 4 or 5 years ago. But yeah, MySpace. Anyway, whatever. So Zach Moffitt, the digital director for the Romney campaign, is basically saying that all this social media stuff doesn't really mean anything. It's vanity metrics, and I do love the phrase. It's probably going to be coined. It's probably going to end up in a book sometime. But I can't help but wonder if social media is real life. I tell people during every show to tweet me during the show at Scott Leffler. Tweet me at Scott Leffler during the show, and which somebody just did apparently. It says stupid commercials. I don't know what that means. Are there commercials during the live show on Ustream? Because I don't usually see commercials when I watch something live on Ustream. I don't know. Tell me. Because that would mean that people were like missing out on parts of the show, and then they would come back and I'd be talking about something completely different. They'd be like, I don't know what that was. If that's the case, I don't like that at all. I don't know. We'll figure out something. Talk to me. Tweet me at Scott Leffler. I think that social media is important. I don't know what other people think. I think that it matters. I use it as a reference to tell me things that I can't get from other places. But I don't think it's real life. If social media really mattered, we would have had a President Howard Dean. And we should have, by the way, had a President Howard Dean. But that's another issue for another time. But Howard Dean, when it came to the internet and social media, Howard Dean owned. But John Kerry came in with his war record, and he won the Democratic nomination to the presidency, and then we got 4 more years of George W. Bush, and now we're here. So I kind of wish that the internet meant more than it does, but I find it useful. I enjoy it. You can tweet me during the show at Scott Leffler. And there are apparently stupid commercials during the show. I'm really sorry to hear that. Interesting. And I found that out because people are tweeting me at Scott Leffler. I love this place. I love this show. I love doing this. I'm in a better mood today than I've been in a couple days. I don't know if you can tell or not, but I things hanging over my head. I feel much better now. So it is occasionally difficult to do this show with life hanging over your head. The show is not my job. It's not my career. This show is something fun that I do because, frankly, I miss my radio show. I miss my radio show. I miss talking to people. I miss doing this. I miss the antics. I miss the silly voices. I miss the... Even when I did radio, by the way, even when I did this on the radio, no one could see or hear me. No one could see me doing this or hear me doing this. They could hear me on the radio. But I would still do this because I am part Italian and my hands don't stay still pretty much ever. So, alright. Yes, speaking of tweets, yesterday somebody tweeted that I need a bigger coffee cup because I have this coffee cup here. And every time I sip from it, I try to remind myself to say Brewing with Scott Leffler live on Ustream.tv or later on YouTube if you prefer that way. Because there's no commercials on YouTube, but it's not live, and you can't tweet me during the show and I won't respond. You can tweet me while watching it on YouTube, and I'll still get it, and I may remember to say something the next day. But if you tweet during the show, I can talk to you just like this. Bam. Sorry. Anyway, so somebody suggested that I get a bigger coffee cup. And I used to have 2 bigger coffee cups. I used to have a Mickey Mouse cup that my sister got me that I loved, but I broke it somehow. I broke the handle. And then I had a New York City coffee cup that was much larger as well. And I may have broken that one on purpose. But it was a really cool coffee cup, and I kind of wish that I hadn't broken it because now I just have little ones. If somebody wants to send me a bigger coffee cup, you are more than welcome to. You can send it to me on Twitter at Scott Leffler. No, wait, that doesn't work. I just can't send me a bigger coffee cup. I like to get coffee cups when I go on vacation. But vacation coffee cups never seem to last as long as like other coffee cups. Why is it that work coffee cups, and this isn't my work coffee cup, but it was somebody's work coffee cup, why is it these coffee cups last longer than vacation coffee cups? I don't know why that is. But I like to get coffee cups when I go on vacation. So yeah, you can't send me a coffee cup, but you could send me money, and then I can go on vacation. And then while I'm on vacation, I can get a coffee cup, and it would be just like you bought me a coffee cup, and that coffee cup, which was really expensive, came with a free vacation to wherever. I don't know. I like D.C. I haven't been to D.C. in 18 months, and that is far too long for me because I've always liked the District of Columbia. All right, last topic du jour, and then I'll let you go for today. We'll be back tomorrow on Thursday, and Thursday I work tomorrow, so I'll still be drinking coffee. One of these days we are going to be brewing beer. I'm not going to brew beer, actually. I'm going to drink beer during the show. And I don't know what size cup this is. I think maybe this is 12 ounces. Maybe it's 8. I really don't know. But beer glass, I have bigger ones. I have pint glasses. Those are 16 ounces, so I will be able to drink more during the show. But by the end of this, though, I really love you guys. Actually, no, not after one beer. But I do really love you guys. I'm just saying. All right, so Republican presidential candidate Mitt Romney believes that teachers' unions should not be allowed to donate to political campaigns or candidates. I want that to sit in for a minute. Just let that... Breathe it in. Let it linger. Romney says teachers' unions should not be allowed to donate. Now, Tuesday, he said he thinks that teachers' unions should be banned from making political contributions because union leaders often later negotiate contracts with Democratic politicians that they have helped elect. A situation that he called an extraordinary conflict of interest. And I actually agree with Romney on this. I don't think that public unions and public union employees should be allowed to donate to people who will then later have a say over their contract. It is, I hate the phrase conflict of interest because there is no confliction of interest there. There is a congruence of interest. Conflict of interest is a misnomer, and I will call it a congruence of interest every chance I get because there is a congruence of interest. Both sides have the same interest. Hey, my back, your back, you wash, I wash, wax on, wax off, I'm dancing, I don't know why, I'm sorry. So, I agree that this should not be allowed to happen. But there was a little lawsuit a couple years ago called Citizens United. And in that lawsuit, it was determined that public corporations and unions could donate as much as they wanted to political campaigns because it's free speech. Now, you and I have donation limits. We apparently don't have free speech like unions and corporations do. But Citizens United said that unions and corporations can donate whatever they want. Romney says he's going to change that because he doesn't think that unions, specifically teachers' unions, should be allowed to donate because, well, they donate to Democrats, and anything that can prevent people from donating to Democrats, kind of like the whole new voter ID registration rules that are designed to prevent voter fraud by pretty much disenfranchising anyone who doesn't look like me. Yeah, they pretend that there's this problem and then they come up with a solution to fix it, which conveniently fixes one of their other problems. So he wants to make it illegal for unions to donate to campaigns. Meanwhile, he's perfectly okay with allowing corporate contributions because, corporations are people, my friend. Teachers, obviously, are not people. Teachers are teachers. Corporations, people. Teachers, teachers. You see where I'm going here? Yeah. So, while I do agree that the congruence of interest should be prevented, I also believe the same thing with corporations that donate to politicians and PACs that donate to politicians, who then later, energy corporations donating to George W. Bush, who then are actually allowed to write energy policy. You recall that happening, right? Energy companies donate to Bush campaign. Bush campaign gets elected. Bush campaign says, hey, energy companies, we need your help. How would you like to write energy policy for us? Yeah, sure, George, no problem. I don't know how we could really make it fair. Do you just ban donations completely and have all campaigns be publicly financed? I mean, that would get the money out of it, right? But Congress just voted a few days ago to stop publicly funding political conventions. So we're headed in the other direction. I don't know the answer to this one. What I do know is that Mitt Romney is hypocritical. There's a shock. Mitt Romney's hypocritical. Barack Obama supporters are stupid, which was on yesterday's show. If you missed yesterday's show, watch it. It was fun. Not as energetic as today's show. I actually still have coffee left. Dead mouse in the background. That's a musician, an artist. There's not a dead mouse anywhere in the background. There's a dog right there. There's a dog right there. There's a dog. Sorry. There, dog. There, girlfriend. There. Ow, that hurts. Kids. Oh, and wait. Where'd it go? There it is. Inukshuk. This thing over my shoulder, right? This is hard. That's an Inukshuk. It's an Inuit thing. I don't know. Look it up. I find them interesting. Anyway, I'll be back tomorrow, brewing up some more. I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but I'll figure it out between now and then. And in the meantime, I'm going to listen to some Dead Mouse. I have some dishes to do, some laundry. I got to do some errands. And then I got to work tonight. It is what it is. Que sera, sera. Bitches! That's another word you might hear once in a while. I'm going to try not to swear. But that was kind of egregious, wasn't it? I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to say bitches in a fun and friendly manner. Yeah, I'm just going to go now. Love you.